Welcome, dear soul. You've arrived at Whispering Tarot Voice, a sacred space where intuition speaks softly and the universe always listens. My name is Anna, and here I offer gentle, whispered tarot readings guided by spirit, divine guides, and higher wisdom. Together, we explore messages from the universe, soul connections, twin flame journeys, and the unseen energies surrounding your path. This channel is a place of peace, clarity, and emotional safety, where your heart can breathe, your intuition can awaken, and your soul can feel seen. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind, and trust that you have been guided here for a reason. If this resonates with you, please subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss future messages that are meant to reach you. Now, let's begin. This message is about a person who has been silently activated by your absence. Not in a dramatic, surface-level way, but on a nervous system level. Their body reacts before their mind can catch up. Restlessness, early mornings, sudden surges of motivation or agitation. These are signs of someone whose emotions have flipped into high gear because something unresolved is demanding attention. The key theme here is urgency. This person isn't casually thinking about you. They feel pressed to do something, to speak, to explain, to repair. There's a strong sense that time matters, that if they wait too long, they lose their chance to be understood. That pressure creates impulsive energy, wanting to rush in, clear the tension, and reset the narrative between you. What's actually driving them isn't missing you. It's how they believe you see them now. They're mentally reconstructing the past, not for nostalgia, but for damage control. They're trying to understand how their actions landed, how their inconsistency may have rewritten your opinion of them. And the thought that you might view them as unreliable, selfish, or emotionally careless deeply unsettles them. Their ego isn't what's hurting, it's their image in your eyes. This is someone who has never been stable energy in your life. They move in extremes. Strong entrances, sudden withdrawals, confidence followed by distance. There was attraction, excitement, and chemistry, but also unpredictability. The connection thrived on intensity, not consistency, which made it thrilling but ultimately confusing. What made this bond powerful was its charge. When you interacted, things felt accelerated. Emotions intensified quickly. There was passion, curiosity, and a sense of momentum, but very little grounding. Over time, that imbalance created miscommunication and emotional fog, rather than clarity. The ending matters here. This didn't close gently or mutually. It faded into confusion, leaving both sides with unanswered questions. And unresolved endings don't disappear. They linger, especially for someone who already struggles with consistency. There's an energy around you that's impossible to pin down. You come through as someone who's been tested, pushed, and watched closely, yet still standing, still glowing. You carry this quiet fire, resilient, unbreakable. And that's exactly what unsettles certain people. Someone once believed they had you all mapped out. They thought they understood your limits, your reactions, your weak spots. But they underestimated you, not out of cruelty, more out of arrogance. There was an attempt to contain you, to subtly steer or box you in, maybe even to keep you exactly where they felt comfortable having you. But you don't belong in cages, even invisible ones. Bright, warm imagery keeps surfacing, sunlight, open fields, movement. Horses feel symbolic here, freedom, momentum, raw power. Sunflowers, too, turning toward the light no matter what's behind them. For some, there's a youthful or innocent influence tied into this story, but that won't resonate for everyone. The color red stands out sharply: passion, provocation, a statement. It could be something simple, a scarf, a memory, a moment, but it carries intensity. Red is never accidental. Right now, this person is deeply unsettled by you. Not because you changed, but because you refused to be predictable. You didn't bend the way they expected. And now, there's confusion. Not just from them, but from others watching too. You trigger competition, comparison, and jealousy without even trying. There's an outside energy here, someone who feels threatened by your presence, possibly because of the attention you naturally draw. In the past, there was a dynamic that felt like a game. Multiple players, subtle rivalries. Someone enjoyed stirring tension, watching people compete for their validation. They liked the chaos. They liked feeling wanted. But that thrill has faded. Before I get into it, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel so we can easily connect with you and learn more about you in detail. So let's start the video. The energy around you is electric, fast-paced, and undeniably powerful. We have the Queen of Cups, a soul who feels deeply, sees clearly, and radiates a calm, unyielding strength. You are the kind of person whose kindness is magnetic, whose intuition is spot on, and whose presence commands attention without even trying. Some have mistaken your generosity for weakness, thinking they could take advantage of your heart. But kindness is not weakness. It's another form of wisdom, and you have mastered the art of standing strong while still loving completely. There's also a fire element present, identified by the energy of Sagittarius. Bold, adventurous, unapologetic. Neither you nor anyone involved can be contained. There's a restlessness, an excitement, and a hunger for truth that refuses stagnation. And then there's the water of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, bringing emotion, intuition, and depth. This isn't a situation of superficial drama. These are currents of feeling and awareness flowing beneath everything, shaping both choices and consequences. The Knight of Wands points to a familiar pattern, someone moving forward with passion, charisma, or speed, but without foresight. They ignite sparks, stir up excitement, and yet leave a trail of instability in their wake. You may have encountered this energy before, and your intuitive wisdom, the Queen of Cups, recognized the rhythm before the dance even began. You chose to participate, yes, but not blindly. You observed, you felt, and you maintained your boundaries. The Three of Cups and the Ten of Wands show whispers, social upheaval, and the weight of consequences. People talked, stories were fabricated, mistakes were made, and now the repercussions are coming back, heavy like the Ten of Wands. Attempts to charm, make excuses, or shirk responsibility are futile. Karma has its own rhythm, and the wheel of fortune keeps turning, transforming everything that has been set in motion. Some are avoiding the mirror, resisting the hermit's call to self-reflection. They prefer to fabricate stories, distract themselves, or alter their perspective rather than confront their shadows. But avoidance only amplifies the unease. It cannot erase the truth. And you? You are above all this, calm, steady, and radiant. You see the traps, but you do not fall into them. You move forward with clarity, grace, and patience, untouched in your awareness. For some, family ties, past relationships, or long-standing commitments complicate matters further. But regardless of the circumstances, the lesson remains the same. Emotional intelligence is strength, boundaries are sacred, and wisdom is forged in the fire of experience. When the Ten of Wands appears, it signals a moment where weight can no longer be avoided. This is not chaos. This is consequence, the kind that settles quietly but firmly on the shoulders of those who thought they could outrun truth. The story that was once twisted, diluted, or reshaped has collapsed. There is no angle left to manipulate, no version left to sell. Only the raw truth remains. About you, about them, about what actually happened. For some, this energy manifests as something very literal: legal matters, contracts, official decisions. For others, it unfolds on a subtler plane, a spiritual court where intention is measured more heavily than words. Either way, judgment has already been passed. The scales have been tipped. What was sent out has returned. There is a sharp, restless Virgo presence here, someone caught in their own mind, spiraling through memories, dissecting conversations, replaying moments they can't undo. They are haunted not by what you did, but by what they said, assumed, or misrepresented. Precision has turned into paranoia. Logic has turned inward and begun to interrogate them. When the focus shifts to how this person truly feels about you now, the wheel of fortune answers without hesitation. This is no longer about preference or emotion. It's about fate. You're etched into their life as a turning point, a before and after. They feel bound to you by something unseen yet undeniable. A karmic contract, an energetic loop they cannot exit until balance is restored. Even if they don't believe in karma, they feel its pull, strong, constant, inescapable. There is a longing to reach out, to soften what hardened, to offer peace. Not because it guarantees forgiveness, but because the universe is pressing on them to correct the imbalance. Ignoring it only makes the pressure stronger. More energies surface: Sagittarius, Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, fixed, powerful archetypes that resist accountability until they are forced to transform. And now, transformation has arrived. A quiet but undeniable realization sets in. They have accumulated karma, not as punishment, but as consequence. What goes around, comes around, has become personal. The Two of Swords reveals the internal standoff. This person is split within themselves. One part knows exactly what needs to be done. The other part is terrified of the emotional cost. To act would mean facing guilt, vulnerability, and truth. To do nothing would mean living with the weight forever. They are frozen, not because they don't care, but because they care more than they can admit. And then there is you, embodied in the Nine of Pentacles, independent, self-possessed, radiant in your autonomy. Whether single or simply free, you're no longer waiting, wondering, or needing. Your peace is self-generated. Your worth is unquestioned. You didn't demand justice. You became it by choosing yourself. Now, the contrast is unmistakable. It's painfully clear who stands aligned with integrity and who is scrambling under the weight of unresolved choices. The wheel has drawn its line. Paths have separated. Be mindful of whispers. Some narratives circulating about you are born not from truth, but from envy. From someone who couldn't be you, couldn't keep you, or couldn't touch your level. Bitterness disguises itself as information. Discernment is key. This person remains internally divided, carrying strong Libra energy, endless weighing, endless hesitation, endless mental negotiations. They analyze timing, outcomes, and risks, all while avoiding the one thing that would bring relief: honesty with themselves. There's also a pattern of avoidance here. Someone who flees discomfort, seeks pleasure, and struggles to sit with negative emotion. A cardinal sign influence shows impulsivity, indulgence, and for some, a history of betrayal or emotional inconsistency. Responsibility was always postponed, until now. And now, how do they see you? Not as someone they misunderstood, not as someone they escaped, but as someone who rose untouched, someone who walked away luminous, someone standing firmly, unmistakably on the right side of the wheel. The sun shows up as you being impossible to overlook. Your energy is intense in the most beautiful way, warm, radiant, and revealing. When they look at you, it feels like looking straight into the sun, blinding, overwhelming, and impossible to fully process. You illuminate truth without trying, and that's what makes your presence so powerful. They know without doubt that you are genuinely good at your core. You don't fake kindness or light. It simply exists within you. You uplift others naturally, and they feel better just being in your orbit. Yet that same light makes them uncomfortable because it reveals parts of themselves they haven't wanted to face. With the Seven of Cups, their attraction to you feels confusing and disorienting. They don't fully understand why they're so drawn to you, only that they are. Instead of seeking clarity, they drown themselves in distractions, pleasures, chaos, constant movement, anything shiny enough to keep them from sitting with their emotions. This is someone who avoids inner work by staying busy. They struggle to slow down because slowing down would force them to confront their truth. And your presence already brings them dangerously close to that realization. The Wheel of Fortune paired with the Knight of Wands reveals a constantly shifting energy. Their feelings fluctuate, their intentions change, and their actions lack consistency. They live in cycles, moments of passion followed by distance, desire followed by escape. The Knight of Wands energy shows someone who chases excitement but resists responsibility, someone who moves impulsively because stillness feels too heavy. They feel pulled toward you, yet they don't know how to meet you with the same depth you naturally carry. What truly weighs on them is judgment. They are deeply concerned about how you see them now. Your energy has changed, and they feel it. You're quieter, more grounded, more aware, and that awareness scares them. Judgment here isn't about criticism. It's about truth and awakening. They fear you've reached a clear conclusion about who they are and what they represent in your life. Part of them wants to come forward, explain, and clear the air. Another part is afraid that your silence already holds the answer. The sun and judgment together show someone standing in the light of your clarity, unsure whether they'll be accepted or exposed. They sense that you're no longer seeking answers. You're the answer now. There may be voices around you, conversations and opinions being shared, both positive and negative, but none of it truly touches your essence. Most of what's being said reflects other people's emotions, not your truth. You remain exactly where you are, radiant, aware, unbothered, and that is why they can't stop thinking about you. Your light doesn't chase them. It waits. And that quiet confidence is what makes them feel both drawn to you and afraid to step closer. They see you in a way that almost feels untouchable. Not distant, but untamed, free in your light, unafraid to perceive everything clearly. It's not just that you see them. You see everything. You see the hidden corners of situations, the unspoken intentions, the truths others try to bury. Your awareness is sharp, almost like a spotlight that exposes not only them, but parts of their own life they haven't faced yet. You hold that clarity naturally, and they know it. It's magnetic, it's intimidating, and it draws them in whether they are ready or not. The Three of Cups hums beneath the surface, a pulse of chatter and observation. People are talking, sharing opinions, mentioning your name. Yet what's striking is not the noise, it's how your energy transforms it. Even in casual conversation, your presence is honored. Your character is recognized, admired. You are remembered for more than just who you are. You're remembered for the way your energy leaves a mark. It's subtle, but undeniable. With the sun and judgment, your presence is like the first golden rays after a storm, impossible to ignore. There's a phoenix-like resurrection in your energy, a rebirth that's as beautiful as it is powerful. You rise not just from circumstances, but from perception itself. You've learned to embody your power without needing anyone's approval, and that is what makes you unforgettable. People sense your clarity, your strength, the way you naturally command attention while remaining effortlessly graceful. Your light doesn't push, it simply radiates, and that is enough to capture admiration and, yes, a little fear. There's a hint of regret around those who encounter you. If they could go back, change choices, approach differently, they would. You are the standard they wish they had met sooner, the clarity they wish they had understood earlier. And yet, you continue forward, elevated, untouchable in your confidence. The Queen of Wands vibrates strongly in your energy. Charisma flows from you like warmth from a fire. You don't need to speak loudly. Your magnetism announces itself. People notice, talk, admire, not because you demand it, but because your presence cannot be ignored. It's an aura that pulls attention effortlessly, the kind that lingers in the memory long after you leave a room. Beautiful, radiant, powerful, your essence leaves an imprint. With the Eight of Wands, everything accelerates around you. Momentum, progress, elevation, they follow you. People are watching, noticing, speaking of you with admiration. Your growth is visible, undeniable, and inspiring. You've spent years proving yourself, quietly building, refining your light. And now, that light has expanded, reaching further than ever before. People sense it, and it both fascinates and unsettles them. You are not just radiant, you are transformative. In truth, what defines you is not just your brightness, but the depth of your presence. You are clarity in motion, light after storm, power made visible. You don't chase validation. Your essence commands recognition, and that is the secret of your irresistible magnetism. You are complete in yourself, and the world cannot help but notice. There's a quiet power in you that others feel immediately. The Nine of Cups shows that you have reached a place of true self-fulfillment. You know what you want, and you no longer settle for less. You can distinguish genuine opportunities and connections from empty promises. Life has taught you to recognize what nourishes your spirit and what only distracts. That clarity isn't just intelligence, it's magnetic. People are drawn to it instinctively, even if they can't articulate why. You carry your desires with calm confidence, and that confidence alone radiates a quiet authority that others respect and admire. The Queen of Swords in your energy amplifies this presence. You are sharp, insightful, and unafraid to speak your truth. Your honesty can feel intense to some, but it's the honesty of someone who has learned self-sufficiency. You no longer rely on others to validate you because you are complete in yourself. That independence is seductive in its own right. There's a depth to you that invites curiosity and admiration. People may notice the precision of your perception, the decisiveness of your choices, and the elegance with which you maintain your boundaries. You are magnetic not because you try to be, but because your authenticity is undeniable. You are in the midst of transformation, even if you don't feel the full magnitude of it yet. Like a butterfly forming in its cocoon, your growth is happening quietly, invisibly, and beautifully. Others can see the shift in you long before you recognize it yourself. The radiance in your presence, the calm authority in your movements, the quiet power that seems to emanate from your very being. That hidden transformation enhances your allure because it combines mystery with mastery. People are drawn not only to who you are now, but to the promise of who you are becoming. What makes your presence irresistible is not only your clarity and self-fulfillment, but the ease with which you inhabit them. You are complete without needing anyone else's approval, and yet that completeness doesn't push people away. It draws them in. You shine naturally, illuminating spaces and hearts alike. You are someone whose energy commands attention simply by being fully alive and fully yourself. The outcome of this energy is undeniable. You're stepping fully into your own power. You're magnetic, commanding, and radiant in ways that cannot be ignored. Others may wonder at the source of your presence, but the truth is simple. You are the sum of clarity, self-awareness, and quiet, unwavering confidence. That combination is rare, captivating, and completely unforgettable.